Hi guys, good morning. This is Miss Rinkin and welcome to Art Starters. Today what we're going to work on is emphasis. We're working on the principles of design now, and emphasis is a really cool one. So today what we're going to do is a very simple exercise dealing with a focal point. Woo! And I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see. So the definition of emphasis is a focal point, which is the first thing that your eye goes to on a composition or an image, and it's something that draws the eye's attention. So obviously, if you're looking at this right here, you'll be able to tell, hopefully, the focal point of today's exercise with this lady in the rain. Let me zoom out just a hair here. Woo! And zoom in, is her red sash. And a lot of times what a focal point will do is it'll focus on color. It doesn't have to focus on color. It can focus on an area of a lot of stuff and openness or negative space. So there's two things going on in this composition right here. The emphasis is directly right here, and then the focal point or the emphasis directs you automatically to the sash. So we have negative space to create our emphasis as well as the red of the sash. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For today, what you're going to need is just a few supplies. You're going to start with a pencil, your eraser, tech liners if you have them. It's the same thing as a Sharpie for the most part. A red marker or any color that your heart desires in this point, and a ruler. And again, I have a tendency to use 4.5 by 5.5 rectangular paper, but you can use whatever you have available. I would suggest it be rectangular so that you can keep the same basic composition of what I'm doing. Alright, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to see if I can maybe zoom in just a hair. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start over on this side of the paper, and we're just going to kind of do a very simple shape. It's going to represent our umbrella. And then from the center, I'm going to go ahead and draw the line of the umbrella. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and lightly sketch in the shape of our girl. She's wearing a raincoat. I don't know if you guys can tell. And I'm going to go ahead and sketch the shape of her head. She's also wearing a hat. And I gave her some hair down the back of her. Okay, there we go. Some hair coming down the back of her. And this red sash that is going to be our focal point in the picture. And then her raincoat, which kind of comes out the back. And then I am going to go ahead and draw her boots in. Alright. There we go. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I want to map off with my ruler where I have her standing. So I'm going to draw a light line here. And this is also going to make sure that I don't get into my negative space. So from the umbrella, I'm going to make a shape down. And from this side too. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of mapping off what I'm going to leave blank. Alright, so this is the point where I go ahead and get my marker out. And again, if you're looking at these side by side, and I'm going to begin inking. And so if you have a large Sharpie, you can ink it in real fast if it helps. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done. And this is just basically for time purposes. A large Sharpie fills in a lot of space all at one time. Sharpies are permanent, which means that you can paint over the top of them, and they do not bleed, so they are pretty amazing. I'm going to go ahead and just get a section of this in here as I'm working, just to help fill in some of my space. Whoops, sorry, I'm working off the paper. Excuse me. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and fill back in as quickly as my little hands can make me. Filling in her hair. And you guys, you can make your hair however you like. I just, had a tendency to make it kind of long. I can also put some over her shoulder for, show her a little tiny nose there and a chin. Alright, and I'm also going to ink in her hand because I want that to be a part of the composition. And, as an artist, that's your choice. And lastly, we're going to go in here and give her her black boots, which are pretty classy, I think. Just a classy lady. And then we're going to trace in the line of her umbrella and the little point on the top. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually begin what we call stippling. Stippling is a series or a bunch of dots that create a composition. And the closer you put the dots together, the darker and the more solid the form gets. And so what we're doing is we are dotting her dress and her arm in. Her arm's got to be dotted a little darker. And I might can even zoom in on this so you guys can see a little better. It is dark and rainy outside right now, so I went ahead and decided it would be a good time to do this. And I'm playing my dark, rainy music, so it's very somber today. Hopefully it doesn't wreck your mood and makes you still have an awesome morning. This is kind of a sleepy, rainy morning. I'm going to go ahead and draw her sash in, and it's blowing a little bit. And then I'm going to begin continuing to dot her dress as I go. And as I get towards the bottom, I'm going to leave the dots more open, just because I think that it makes a great little bit of eye candy there. If I were to fill it in exactly the same, then I think it would be maybe a little bit too congruent. And this particular image is very similar in a lot of aspects anyway, so I kind of wanted to step it up a little bit. So, and you can go back in there. Alright, and the last thing you're going to do, go ahead and get that red out. This is the fun part, the icing on the cake, so to speak. And you're going to go ahead and you can color her sash in. Make sure you stay in the line, for goodness sakes. Alright, and for the next portion of this, you're actually going to need a little bit of tape. And we're going to tape your sections off because it just makes things look uniform, and neatness really makes the difference here. So I'm going to tape off my line right there. And I'm also going to tape off the inside of where, from my umbrella to the ground, and the other side. I need a larger piece. Sorry guys. And again, you're working from the corner here to maybe the corner there. Alright, I'm taping that off. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're just working on your own. You can use a ruler if you want to start creating. Oh wow, I taped this down. Really nice. Alright, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to just begin with the ruler, and I'm going to begin by making large, straight strokes for the rain. I can make them the same distance apart if I want to. You have to make sure that you have your ruler and you have it kind of lined up. You want to try to stay away from making sloppy marks. Wow, that one did not even show up. Good job, Lori. Sorry, I'm coaching myself, as art teachers sometimes do. You know, positive vibes are a good thing. So I'm just going in, guys, and I am filling this in. And I am going to work as quickly as I can here. So, all talking aside, I'm just making my way. Now, when you create your composition, obviously you're going to go in here, you're going to put more lines closer together. You're going to start with the top. But I'm getting a basic idea of what I want to do here. Just so I'm giving myself a guide. Alright, and then what I would do is, now that I have this in, I would begin to go back in and fill it up and make more and more lines. And obviously when I'm done, I would take the tape off. So, in saying that, that is pretty much enough to get you guys going today. So I'm going to back it up a little bit so you guys can see. And again, this is Emphasis. This is Miss Rankin, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and happy drawing.